Things have changed since the last Apocalypse Joust. More survivors have made their way to safety under the bridge. But it's a more dangerous and unpredictable world. Natural disasters can strike at any time. It's still survive or be destroyed. Welcome to the Apocalypse Joust.
The champs return, and wow, do they face some big vehicles. Tough competition for them in Qualifier 5 of the Apocalypse Joust. Taking a closer look at the teams, here is Shawinigan's Shenanigans. They won the first Apocalypse Joust. Can they do it again? Paradise Hunters featuring Omega Legend, that big vehicle with the hinged wing plane. Jester and Smiler's Institution. This team is a total collaboration between about 4 people. Not only did StarCorps Industries create a lot of the buildings under our bridge, they also created this team. The A-Team's Goon Squad features some of the bigger vehicles we've seen yet in the Joust. Those are the 5 teams. The Track Buffer is in position, sponsored by the Track Buffer LLC. And Angry Maximus will start us out for Paradise Hunters, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. Angry Maximus smashes into position and sets up that 2-tiered ramp on the back of the car. First up for the Goon Squad, the Mad Goose, sponsored by Sicken. Mad Goose takes that ramp and flips over with a nice recovery, showing some good agility there. Looks like there's a rider in Angry Maximus getting tossed around there. Is that a Power Ranger? I'm not exactly sure. Mao Morta, sponsored by the Test Joust series, driven by Karasim Karina. Mao Morta hits that ramp, bounces off the wall, and a superb level of balance right there, making a full recovery. No eliminations yet in the round. First up for the Institution, the Hitman, sponsored by Coffee Room. The Hitman just about defeats that ramp, but a little bit too much speed and can't quite do it. The driver gets thrown into the safety area. Good escape for the Hitman. Shawinigan Handshake, sponsored by Swamp Hobbit for Shenanigans. The Shawinigan Handshake grips the back of that ramp, sticks right in between it. A solid prevention of ramping right there, and we'll see how this pans out in that position. Next up, the B800. For the Paradise Hunters, become a sponsor now, patreon.com/Junkyard Joust. A big chunk breaks off of B800, flies up into the air. Shawinigan's Handshake is tight and sticks to the back of that ramp. The B800 goes curbside and is missing a flame. No more Mr. Nice Guy, 161 grams, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Looks like the tires are pushed right up against the side of the track on this vehicle, and so it's not super fast, but it's very stable, and it does a good job of shunting a couple of cars aside there. Still, no eliminations in this round. Liftgate, 193 grams, sponsored by StarCorps Industries and driven by Large Marge. Liftgate with a massive hit. Shawinigan's Handshake turns over sideways. Angry Maximus is thrown over and eliminated. That is a double takedown. Handshake is close to recovering, but not quite there. And now we've got our first couple of eliminations and a ramp set up. Duck and Cover, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Duck and Cover launches off of Liftgate's very slanted ramp, goes up, hits the wall, goes sideways, can't get away clean, hits a 7 on the way over to a sideways elimination. 1 down for Jester and Smilers. And we're getting that alert sound because there is something happening on the field. It's a zombie attack. This is the Apocalypse. You never know what's going to happen. Those zombies are jammed up on the track. Sponsor a random event now at the Junkyard Joust Patreon. Custom Jet Fighter is going to take off into this mess, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. The jet takes off, flies through the zombies, and flips over, cannot land it. Zombies going everywhere, and it doesn't look good for the jet fighter, completely upside down. Tank Lady for the Paradise Hunters, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Tank Lady takes the ramp and manages to make a recovery, flipping over off of the hair on top. Good recovery for the Hunters. 5 for Fighting, 138 grams, sponsored by Emo Dingo. 5 for Fighting hits the ramp but does not launch and backs down again after a weird bounce. It is curbside currently, but looks like it's going to be tough to get that thing off the track. Dakka Truck, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos and driven by Digga. Deca truck hits a wall. 5 for Fighting not willing to move, and it goes sideways with the force of its own impact. Here's something that's going to make a few cars move. 199 grams. It's Melted Creature, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. Boom! Both cars are forced over the jump and off the track. 5 for Fighting tips over on top of the zombies, and Deca truck survives that hit. And now there's another ramp set up on the back of Melted Creature. Turbine Time will be the first to take it, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Turbine Time takes it, slams into the pile on the side, flips over sideways, immediately eliminated by that vehicle, and took a little paint off too, it looks like. Dog Meatle, sponsored by Sand Dragon Workshop. Dog Meatle skips and jumps like a stone, spinning and making a landing. Nice job by that vehicle, good agility there. Another 199 gram car, Not Sorry A, sponsored by Judy Collins. Not Sorry A is foiled by Melted Creature. Look at that flip up and over. Couldn't quite get under it. Maybe a little bit heavy. Maybe the flexibility just didn't quite work out, but that vehicle is finished. Tough loss for the Goon Squad. Next up is Trigger, sponsored by Avery's Reliable Autos, driven by Zeke Houston. Trigger takes flight and flops over at the end, tries to do a barrel roll, almost makes that landing, but gets a little too bouncy, hits the wall, and goes over. That'll be a loss for the Rad Warriors. Next up, Crash and Burn, sponsored by Sloss Automotive / Shane Buffet for the Institution. Not a whole lot of crashing and burning there, just a quick turn over to a recovery. A nice little dismount off the back of their own teammate. That's what you want to see. The one, the only, the Big Bang Bus, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Boom! The Big Bang Bus actually pushes Melted Creature up on the back of Liftgate. Impressive maneuver there. That bus has no fear, pushing a 200 gram car up like that. And this is going to be followed up by a 191 gram Omega Legend, sponsored by Farty Marty. Bam, there it goes, and Melted Creature manages to escape, driving off the top of that semi, stays alive, the bus is going up. Here comes Puck Around and Find Out, sponsored by William Aronson of the Joust Network. Puck Around with a walloping hit right there. Omega Legend is thrown up. You can see those hinged wings flopping around, helping it stay steady and get past the bridge. Rundown, driven by Lieutenant Leo Giacomelli. A little boom from the police car doesn't do any damage. The bus goes just a tiny bit farther up the ramp. Bushman, sponsored by King Jester. Bushman pushes the line forward, forces it down just a little bit. No eliminations. And we are down to the final car of the round, Stingrod, sponsored by Sand Dragon Workshop. Stingrod hits that line, and the Bang Bus recovers. It could have flipped over, but that thing has some balance. It looks like in round one, we're going to end up with 8 eliminations. A couple of teams taking bigger hits than other ones. There are the eliminations. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Hardest hit is going to be our champion team, Shawinigan Shenanigans. The Goon Squad lost 2 down to 3, and everybody else just lost 1. They are all at 4. Good round for 3 of our teams. Round 2, let's joust. Starting off with the Paradise Hunters and B800. The track buffer removed from the track. The track buffer actually made a recovery on that hit. B800 about halfway back. Liftgate with a big hit on B800, but it deftly maneuvers right out of the way. Goes over on top of the flatbed of the track buffer, and now we've got a ramp set up. But Melted Creature declines the ramp. It throws Liftgate into the safety bar. It bounces backwards, gets stuck on top of Melted Creature. We had a similar bounce back situation in the previous match. Liftgate is okay for the moment. The Mad Goose slams into both vehicles and flips over upside down. Melted Creature so heavy it prevents any sort of takedown attempt, and now Goose is in trouble. A plunging hit from the Big Bang Bus, and it ends in tragedy. Somehow Mad Goose makes a recovery, but Big Bang Bus does not. This bus has never been eliminated. It had a perfect record up until now, went a whole season never being eliminated, and now, suddenly, it just flips over on its side. Might it recover? I guess we'll see. This double jump is stymieing all recovery attempts. Tank Lady just drives up and over on the other side. The combination of these two vehicles ramps just too much for every vehicle so far. And it takes out another one. Mau Morta, actually I think taken out more by Lamelted Creature, gets caught up against the wall, stuck on the tank sideways. That's 3 in a row down. Crash and Burn with another successful recovery off its teammate's ramp. Bouncing backwards, topples Liftgate over to the right. Liftgate is out now. One after another, vehicles are falling. Finally, somebody has some luck not going off that ramp. No more Mr. Nice Guy lines up and knocks Crash and Burn over in the process. Stingrod with a hit and a bounce back. Shawinigan Shenanigans only have this one remaining vehicle left. It has to stay alive to keep the championship team going. So far, so good. It survived the attack from Dog Meadle. They both go curbside. Rundown with a swipe, and it looks like Stingrod might topple just briefly, but then the police car goes over sideways, and Stingrod makes a recovery. So does Dog Meadle. Bushman joins the fray and may have done Rundown a big favor right there. Rundown pivoting and landing right side up, definitely below 45. Puck around and finds out that there's a solid line on the track. Tries to escape, can't quite get away. And it's gonna wish it did. Omega Legend smashes into the line. Puck around is eliminated straight over on its head. Omega Legend with quite a wallop there and even displaced Lamelted Creature up front. Truck gets underneath Omega Legend, and for a second it looks like it might flop over. The wing deploys and it looks safe. And you hear that rumble, it sounds like there is a little bit of an earthquake here. This one brought to you by Scrapyard Used Body Parts and Service. It is sending shockwaves down the track, and Rundown has flopped over sideways. A lot of bouncing and settling, and it looks like that squad car is finished. Hitman pokes in for the Institution. A solid hit, and that line is tight. And that will end round 2. Started off disastrous for a few of these teams. Oh, and look at this. Bushman is apparently starting to crack. I think the vehicle was cracked initially, coming apart. 7 eliminations in round 2. That will take us down to 10 vehicles. All teams are still in it, but as you can see, 2 teams have fallen to just 1. The Rad Warriors and Shawinigans are in trouble. Goon Squad falls to 2. Jester and Smilers and Paradise Hunters are both at 3. They each lost 1 in that round. The random event for round 3, Giant Rat. I think this thing is Baby Humongous Cookie's pet or something. It will replace the track buffer for this round. We've got a rat buffer. Starting us off in round 3, Lamelted Creature, 199 gram vehicle. Has no problem removing that giant rat from the track, or at least mostly from the track. Actually, the rat has shown some staying power here. A little bounce back. And with the Lamelted Creature ramp in place, B800 has already found it difficult to survive, hitting the wall and getting stuck, propped up. That looks like a tough vehicle to eliminate. This is probably one of the few positions that would do it. Mad Goose has a little bit better luck bouncing off the wall after a flip and making that landing happen. And we've still got a rat on the track. Stingrod with a little push in, a rebound, and an escape of the track, and Shawinigans will survive the round, assuming that it doesn't take some sort of a hit somehow off the track. Truck does not have the same luck, lands in a very tough spot, actually splits apart. The vehicle broke in 2 on that hit. It was somehow broken or sliced by Lamelted Creature, and it looks like the bottom of the car is upside down. This could be it for Rad Warriors. Bushman handles its teammate's jump quite nicely, uses that rat to stabilize itself, and lands flat and balanced. Dog Meadle takes the ramp, bounces off the wall, and bad luck, flips over, cannot quite make that recovery happen, and Paradise Hunters are gonna lose one. No More Mr. Nice Guy gets underneath the ramp. This is probably one of the few vehicles that can get underneath Lamelted Creature. Pushes it up. Creature is in trouble. Hitman pushes No More Mr. Nice Guy forward more. Lamelted Creature's going up. The rat looks excited. Omega Legend blows through all the cars on the track, just knocks them all completely off. 3 cars get pushed, go flying, 2 of them recover. Lamelted Creature is toast. With the force of that hit, No More Mr. Nice Guy manages to shunt it off to the right, take it out of the match. That is 4 eliminations, and we are gonna lose our first team in this match. Rad Warriors fought valiantly, even to the point of utter destruction. They are the first team eliminated. Shawinigan's is still in it at 1. Paradise lost 2 in that round, and they are down to 1. Jester and Smiler's Institution and the Goon Squad are both at 2. 6 cars remain in the match. The Hitman will start us off in round 4. Lining up down at the end. We'll see if that sloped back can cause any problems. It does not cause problems. The Mad Goose somehow manages to get underneath. The Hitman kind of wedged between the tank and the gun. And now they both have to survive the Omega Legend. Omega Legend with a massive hit. The top of the tank goes skyward and disappears forever. No idea where that went. Somewhere on the other side of that wall, and nobody ever comes back from there. The Hitman with a magnificent recovery. Looks like it did not hit higher than a 7 on that. Stingrod comes down now, shoots underneath Omega Legend. Wow, it actually went up pretty high in the air on that hit, but does manage to stay stable, wings deploying. Bushman joins the fray, does not do any damage. Looks like Omega escapes. And I hear some more rumbling. Looks like this time it's gonna be another rock slide. We had a couple of these last time. This one brought to you by Price Axe. Lot of rocks all over the track and the vehicles. Whoever comes down next is gonna have to contend with this. It'll be No More Mr. Nice Guy. Can probably get underneath these things. And indeed it does. Gets underneath Bushman as well, pushing rocks all over the place, clearing the road, and it looks close for Bushman, but that does not look like an elimination. Nope, that's definitely a survive, and that was all the cars in this round. There was some damage, but no eliminations in this round, so we will go back up to the top, run it again, but faster. The now topless Mad Goose first to come down the track, sidles in. I don't know if that's going to affect how it performs. So far, no problem. Hitman actually escapes the track, bounces off the back of the Goose to safety. Jester and Smiler's looking good. Stingrod with some more damage. The back of Mad Goose is broken completely off the vehicle. The Mad Goose getting some serious abuse in this match, but taking it like a champ. Actually taking it from the champ on that one. Omega Legend obliterates the cars on the track, throwing them both sky high. Mad Goose shoots up to a height of 8 before somehow making the landing happen. Good balance in what's left of that tank. But bad news for Shawinigan's shenanigans. Stingrod is massacred on that hit and thrown over upside down. If it cannot get back upright again, the champs are gonna be finished. No More Mr. Nice Guy tries to take out Omega Legend, and it got close. I can't tell if that is out right now. And just to add more peril to this match, the rat is back. Giant Rat Attack Level 2, sponsored by Evil Twin. The rat lunges for the pile and now has jumped on top of No More Mr. Nice Guy, blocking the track. Bushman will have to contend with the giant rat on this hit, and does so, knocking the rat off the track, bouncing backwards. And now the big question is, has Omega Legend done enough to survive? That looks like it may have been enough to make a recovery. We are going to take a measurement. If Omega is out, we would be down to 2 teams. The match would be over. And there we go. The measurement is 38 degrees. Omega Legend survives the round, and we will go on. Shawinigan Shenanigans did not survive the round. After the uneliminated Big Bang Bus was finally eliminated, Shawinigans will fall in round 5. The new blood has prevailed. 3 teams left in the match. Bushman will start us off for the Institution. Bushman makes it down to the end of the track, does not break or fall apart. Mad Goose slots in behind it. We've got 2 cars lined up, and I've noticed the wind picking up on the field, and yep, it's getting kind of severe. This giant wind gust brought to you by the Aardvark of Freedom. Some detritus has been whipped onto the track. It looks like Cookie's old throne. I don't know where it was sitting, but the wind caught it and threw it onto the track. Cookie's got her own post-apocalyptic dirigible now. Doesn't use the throne anymore. Omega Legend up first, gonna hit that detritus. And boom, throws it away into the wall. All the cars are cleared off the track as usual. This vehicle is a menace, and it has flipped over the tank and taken it out. It also looks like Bushman was eliminated on that hit, a double takedown for the 2 teams that could afford a loss. Hitman tries to get some revenge, and right now that looks like some pretty good revenge. That thing is close to 45. We got 1 car left, though, in the round. It's no more Mr. Nice Guy, and no more Mr. Nice Guy settles things out. And now we're gonna have 3 cars left in the match and 3 teams. 2 eliminations in the round. Some heavy wind and some flying cars, as well as detritus. There's our 2 eliminations. Jester and Smiler's Institution falls to 1. The Goon Squad falls to 1, and now everybody is at 1. Hitman gets the start. Plunges through the track buffer, ends up down at the end. Looks like the track buffer kind of got stuck there on something. Omega Legend attempts a takedown and cannot get it. The Hitman has survived these attempts time and time again. This time it looks like it's gonna flip over upside down, but recovers at the last second like some sort of figure skater. And the apocalypse becomes more and more dangerous as we go. This time we've got a Winnebago Rampage sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Winnebago's gonna head up to the top of the hill and cause some trouble. A bruising hit. It actually looks like Winnebago might have lost a chunk there off the top. Omega Legend handles that hit and does damage to Winnebago, making it pay for this Rampage. No more Mr. Nice Guy gets under Winnebago just a little bit, pushing it up. And that'll be all 3 cars that are in the match. That'll be the end of this round, and we will increase to maximum speed. Maximum speed plus random events. This is gonna get interesting. How long can these 3 vehicles last? This time, no more Mr. Nice Guy gets the first position roll. Slotting down at the end. Hitman attempts to take it out, pushes it against the safety rail. It backs off. No more Mr. Nice Guy is curbside. This could be trouble, especially with the undercutter end of Hitman. We've got our random event. What is it this time? It is Cookie's Whims. It's level 1. Cookie is sending down a vehicle of her choice. She has chosen the limo from the first apocalypse. The limo makes a run, and look at that, just skids over the top of both vehicles, flips over sideways. It eliminates itself, does not do any damage. Although Hitman is now underneath, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Omega Legend is coming down. Boom! There it is, a big hit. No more Mr. Nice Guy pushed into the wall, but look at the recovery by that big oblong vehicle. Unbelievable. It bounces back off the wall and survives the round, as do the other 2 competitors, and you know what that means. No holds barred. The track buffer will vacate the track. There is no more protection. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Handles that safety barrier pretty well this time. Next up will be a maximum speed Hitman, but our 9th random event of the match is happening now. It is Giant Rat Attack level 3. Baby Humongous Cookie has had the Giant Rat wired on to the back of no Mr. Nice Guy. There's no way you're getting that rat off of the vehicle. I don't know what this will do. We've never made it to a level 3 before. Hitman will take a shot at the rat and no more Mr. Nice Guy. Boom! It doesn't really do much. A bit of a push forward. Hitman manages to slot in on the track, and the big hit is coming down last. It is Omega Legend. Omega Legend goes over and off, hitting Hitman, then bouncing off the rat, floating into the wall, and survives the hit. A massive flying plunge. No eliminations again in the round. We will go to round 10, and I'm telling you, whoever gets eliminated is still going to have a really good shot at getting into the wild card. After surviving this long, Hitman starts us off. No buffer. A nice job staying locked in the track. No More Mr. Nice Guy has made the decision to go down backwards. In No Holds Barred, this is a legal maneuver, and it pays off. Hitman is blasted into the wall, bounces back, goes over upside down, cannot make the recovery happen. Jester and Smiler's Institution are in trouble, and now Omega Legend has a huge ramp to contend with. And contend with it, it does. It looked dicey there for a second, but it manages to use the wall to bounce back, make the recovery happen. Omega Legend survives. But wait a second, we still have a random event. It is Zombie Attack, and it is happening right now. This could change things. Zombie Attack level 2, a car full of zombies goes flying off of No More Mr. Nice Guy into the wall, ending up on the back of Omega Legend, pushing it around a little bit, but it doesn't look like enough to make it go past 45 degrees. As you can see from this angle, that is a recovery. And that means we have reached the end of the 5th qualifier. After 10 rounds, Hitman was eliminated and Jester and Smiler's Institution falls. However, they have 64 points, as you can see here. Your winners are Goon Squad and Paradise Hunters. But right now, the Institution tops the chart in the wildcard standings. They are almost certainly going to get a shot at the main event. It was a battle hard fought, a champion fell. Goon Squad and Paradise Hunters won the day. They will move on to the main event with this illustrious group. 8 teams so far. We've got more to add to it. Here are the current standings between all qualified teams. Speaking of champions, Crimson Crashers return next week for the 3rd main event of the regular Junkyard Joust. The wind's getting worse. We gotta run. See you next time on the Junkyard Joust. Thanks for watching, everybody.